Hello, I'm Dave. I'm a developer and designer for Native Instruments. We're here at SUPERBOOTH 2017 to look at some of the new blocks we've made. I can begin if you like. This first one is, we have made two new oscillators. This is our first one. It is a dual oscillator with lots of modulation and makes some very extreme sounds, but also some very soft sounds. It begins with a sine wave, like this, and then I can introduce more modulation. Phase modulation and frequency modulation and amplitude modulation and wavefolding too. It makes very aggressive sound. You can also really good for thick, big sounds. It's on its own very, very raw sound, good for drum and bass and maybe dubstep, but with some filters it also can be softer and very musical too. This is a very simple example, but we have some very nice example patches with the release. I will show the other oscillator is, let me find. This one is very unusual. Begins with one sine wave and switches between two frequencies. So you can hear, it's just switching between two frequencies. Yeah, and then I can change the frequencies. I can change how quickly it switches as well, and then make it unstable so it begins to fall apart. Makes some very nice crackle sounds. Really good for sound design, for making unusual vinyl crackle and dust and lots of texture. Really exciting module. We also have two new sequencers. I will show you this one. So we have the shift sequencer and the curve sequencer. The shift sequencer is good for pitch and gate. But instead of being one 16-step sequence, you can make all the different notes, attributes different. So you have pitch and octave and velocity and hold and gate, and you can make them all for different lengths in different directions. So then if I run it, you hear a very evolving, always changing sequence. So you see they're all running differently, but never repeating, but always changing, always evolving. We also have a curve sequencer, which is for making modulation. So I'm using it to control this filter, and so now making a stepped value, or if I move this crossfader to this side, I have steps and slopes, and I can add different shapes with this one, making unusual curves, and change the length. It's really good for making complicated modulation and very unusual sounds. It's very much, we make something like this before in Massive, and so we wanted to have it as a module too. We have one final module, which is a very unusual filter. It uses three filters together to make very rich, unusual sounds. It's very good for making talking type sounds. So I can give it like this. You get like very. Or you can load different vowels onto it, like this. Maybe this one, and now I can. Or it can also work as a resonator as well. So I have one other patch I can show, which this time I have very high resonance and I'm exciting the filter to make them ring. And so if I begin this, you can hear them sort of playing together. And I can make chords instead. So I have a major chord and a minor chord, a suspended chord. I can load a fifth maybe, or octaves or 97s. You can also double click and make your own chords if you like to. And then you can have frequency modulation still. And it becomes very, very lush sounding, very full and warm, like sort of sounds like this. I really like. Really nice for ambience and very soft and gentle sounds too. It's very flexible, very deep module. And I think that's all of them. So I hope you enjoyed. Thanks very much.